Generally, compliments from fragrances are going to come from people that you know, or at least you somewhat associate with and you communicate with every now and then. You know, I think the bulk majority of people who claim to get compliments from this fragrance and that fragrance are going to be from people that they've talked to before. And that's great and all, but what if you want to take it to that next level where you have people that you don't even know approaching you and saying, hey, I don't know who you are, but I like what you smell like and I want to know what it is you're wearing, whether it be so they can find it out for their partner or they just are curious about it because they've never smelled it before. That's a whole different level that you can tap into. And it may sound easy, right? Well, just pick a fragrance that gets a lot of compliments. And yeah, that is true. You do need something that's going to be mass pleasing. But in order to really solicit compliments from people that have no idea who you are and they have to approach you out of nowhere, you're going to need something with a little bit of that different twist. Something that's going to be so intriguing that they can't help but approach you and see what it is that you're wearing. If you go with something super ultra basic that does get great compliments but has also been smelled many times, your chances of pulling this off are much lower. So today we have 10 fragrances that will pull compliments from complete strangers. These here have just the right amount of mass appeal, but also that little unique kind of twist that really gives it that push to do exactly what we're trying to do. I will provide links to all of these down below to discounters. And also, if you want to save money on fragrances in general, whether it be new releases or rare, discontinued fragrances and everything else in between, check out my community tab. I'm posting there every day, multiple times a day. Get subscribed so those posts show up in your subscription feed. And it also isn't a bad idea to bookmark that page as well, so that way you see those posts come up and you can check back multiple times per day. I mean, we've been posting some great deals there and you guys have been getting your hands on some amazing stuff. Some things go out of stock often, and if you watch a video and it's out of stock and maybe you're disappointed, it's a good idea to check out the community tab, because at some point when that comes in stock, I'm going to post about it. Alrighty, we're going to get this one kicked off with Montblanc Explorer. So let's just be real and call it like it is. This is a Creed Aventus clone at a fraction of the price. Usually on discounters, $40, $45, pushing $50 for 100 ml. And Creed Aventus is going to be in the upper 200s on discounters, mid upper 200s, somewhere around in there. And also, for what it's worth, they've increased their retail price by another $30 or something like that. A couple people have pointed that out to me. So they're definitely not getting any cheaper, Creed Aventus that is. And so I'm sure that might reflect a little bit on the discounted prices. The point is, Explorer is one you can get for a fraction of that price point. So it's going to have that bergamot ambroxan pineapple smell with a bunch of woods going on in here. It really pulls off that DNA well, but still has yet a very mass-pleasing approach on that DNA. Even though that DNA is already a great compliment getter, this one almost simplifies it even more, and it just makes it a great scent to have if you just want to get positive attention at a low cost. Next up, we have Lattafa Asad. So I was kind of alluding to this a little bit there in my intro when talking about maybe I feature something and then it's out of stock by the time I post the video or whatever. This happened here recently when I posted a video. However, this came into stock and I posted about it. And as you're watching this, I hope it's still in stock, basically is what I'm trying to say. Hopefully you can get this one right now. 100 ml, $25. It's a Dior Sauvage Elixir clone. Now, what's interesting about this one is that to me, it's much more mass-pleasing than the actual Elixir itself. That's a very mature fragrance. This one does still lean in that direction, but it's a little bit more designer level, even though the Dior is obviously a designer, right? But that one is kind of starting to get to the point where it's walking that line a little bit. You know, it really does have something different going on with the sandalwood, the licorice, that sort of thing. But this one here does a good job of bringing it back down to earth and making it a bit more mass-pleasing and approachable for everyone involved, whether that be the wearer himself or herself or the people around you who may end up complimenting you on it, because it does have a little bit more of a relatable feel to it. You know, Elixir itself is going to be a bit more hit or miss, but I think Asad really does a good job of just blending them both together and creating something that a lot of people are really going to like. This one here is also really cool. It is Michael Kors Extreme Sky. Now this one has cypress, ozonic notes. There's a little bit of citrus in here and some woods. This is one that I've been a fan of for a while. Just a very light, crisp, and fresh spring summer scent, but it also is going to work great going into fall because of the heavy amount of woods in here and the aromatics. This one here kind of stands out, similar to everything else here in this video pretty much. The Lattafa that I was just talking about does stand out. Even though it's a clone, it still is a DNA that you don't smell all the time, and it's going to have that intriguing type of smell about it. And same here with this one. You know, it's not your typical freshy or your typical aromatic or your typical woody scent. It has something different about it, which is going to captivate the right type of people out there. And this is one that's going to get you some good compliments. Usually on discounters, it's going to be in that mid price point range, $50, $60, something like that. You get a great presentation, nice atomizer on this one, great smell, and decent performance. It's hard to go wrong. We've got a true OG up next, Versace Dylan Blue. Big giant 200 milliliter bottle here. This is just absurd. This is a lot of scent, especially when you consider that the performance is really good on this. It's an eau de toilette, okay? So they didn't bump up the concentration here with this one. They just kept it in EDT, but it is such a strong performer. One of the better performing blue fragrances on the market, and you're talking 9, 10 plus hours, at least on my skin, longevity wise, and it's strong, solid projection as well. It's a scent that will push out far in terms of distance, but it will also leave a nice trail. So it's a nice kind of middle ground there. And the point is, it's blue fragrance with a smokiness and kind of a depth and maturity to it that not all of them have. When you compare this to something like Sauvage, this one's going to be more mature. It's going to be a little bit more nighttime appropriate. It's going to have a little bit more of a mysterious appeal, at least to me. And so I think it kind of has that extra advantage over something like Sauvage or maybe some other typical, you know, just straight up fresh blue fragrance. There's some sweetness and some smokiness here with this one that has always worked well for me, and it's going to work well for you also, especially when you consider the price point, $40, $45, 100 mil. Talk about a great deal, great performance for an amazing compliment getter. We'll go with a cheapie up next, might as well. We have Montblanc Starwalker. Now this has notes of bergamot, bamboo, musk, some woods in here. Very Mediterranean tropical smelling scent. If I had to compare it to a scent in terms of its category, I would say if you've smelled something like Versace Man Eau Fresh, the blue bottle, and you like that one, then you would probably like Starwalker. You know, there are similarities there, being that they're both very tropical and fresh and just super easygoing and laid back smelling scents with a heavy focus on citrus and musk and very light woods. This one smells great. It's a very versatile scent, especially in the warmer months, spring and summer. You could wear this for literally anything, and even fall and winter, you could wear it. Performance will hold you back, and let's be real, there are better things you could be wearing in the cooler months. However, if you just wanted something that's a dumb reach and there was a day where you just had no idea what to wear, this is the type of thing that could work anytime. Another one of my favorites here, we have Ralph's Club. And this is going to be just the eau de parfum version, the original. The new parfum has come out and I love it. Absolutely go crazy for the new parfum. However, for just straight up compliments alone, you really can't beat this eau de parfum here, the original. It's kind of cool how they started out with an EDP. You know, this one has clary, sage, lavender, all that stuff. It's going to be a little bit of a YSL EDP style of scent, just that genre, that kind of amber wood, aromatic, kind of fruity. blue fragrance style. It kind of has that going on, but again, even more focus on the aromatics here. So I do really enjoy this one a lot. Very clean and fresh and uplifting, and just kind of invigorating, but it still has a little bit of a sweetness to it as well to give it some depth and some richness and complexity. It's all around just a really wearable scent. I wear this one often. It's just one of those things where I don't even really think about it. If I'm running out the door and I have to pick something real quick, I've grabbed this one and I've sprayed it on multiple times and I've never regretted it. And it's going to be a great compliment getter for you. This one here also turned out to be a great mass pleaser. Givenchy Gentleman Eau de Parfum Boisé. So this one here is going to have sandalwood, it's going to have cacao, a little bit of iris in here. This one is much more smooth and creamy than the EDP and basically everything else. They're using heavy amounts of sandalwood here to really push this one in that direction of just creamy woods, basically. You're getting some of the iris in here a little bit, adding to that sweetness. You're getting just some other general woods in here. But the point is, it really does have a little bit more of a modernized and cologne-y type of smell compared to the EDP and all of the others, basically. You know, it has a little bit of that freshness. When you smell something like Gentleman Eau de Parfum, very sweet all the way through with the vanilla and everything like that. But this one has a freshness, which kind of brings it into the more I don't know, mass-pleasing stage and just all the way around from the consumer to the people around you. It's just going to be one of the better mass pleasers throughout the entire line, especially when you're talking about the sweeter ones. I really like it for that reason. Really a big fan of this one here, Le Male On Board by Jean Paul Gaultier. This one here has amber, it's got mint, all that stuff. A little bit of lavender in here, bergamot. It smells fantastic. Very green, sweet, minty, fresh. To me, this is kind of their replacement to Superman Popeye. You know, it doesn't really smell like those. It is different. However, compared to what is currently in production, this is kind of the closest you're going to get to that type of DNA, the Superman Popeye DNA. All the other ones that lean fresh don't go in that direction as much as this one does. So that's just kind of where we're at. I do wish that they would bring back the Superman Popeye DNA because I love how that one smells, but I don't know if they're going to. And if they don't, then this is kind of what's going to get us as close to that as possible. You know, it's a summer fragrance with a little bit of a sweetness and some depth and a little bit of complexity, which is always cool, especially if it's a cooler summer day or a summer evening. I do like fragrances like this. I like a summer fragrance with some sweetness in it. I never used to. I was always into aquatics and citrus fragrances and full-on freshies, and that was it. But as I've kind of gone into growing my collection and my taste has been changing, I like something with a little bit of a sweet kick in the summertime. That's just me, and this one does that just right. Second to last, we have Ferragamo Uomo, the original here. It's got tonka bean, sweet notes, which is kind of very broad, but it does work. And so basically, this is a sweet fragrance bomb. A little bit of ambroxan in here kind of gives it this slightly bright tinge off the top, which does smell very nice, but immediately you're getting the tonka bean, the tiramisu smell, the sweet notes. It really does have this kind of caramelized tiramisu gourmand smell, and it smells awesome. I mean, you can smell this one up in the air and you get what I'm talking about. That kind of dessert type of smell. But when you get this one on skin and when you wear it out in the fall and winter time, it gets even better. So if you're looking for a cooler weather compliment beast that's going to get you attention from everyone around you for a good price, check out Ferragamo Uomo. This has been around the block. It's had its hype train, but you know what? It still is worth it. And last up, we have Lattafa Ejaazi Silver. So I'm featuring this one because it's got a little bit of a La Nuit de l'Homme Bleu Electrique / La Nuit de l'Homme smell. Maybe mixed in with a little bit of L'Homme Le Parfum freshness. That's kind of what it has going on here. Just a nice hybrid of things. But you're getting some cardamom, some amberwood freshness, lavender, all that sort of thing for $15. for 100 mil. Yeah, seriously. A whopping $15 for this size bottle. It's an eau de parfum. Lattafa, they've been on their game, and this is another one of those scents where it just makes sense at this price point, because this has better quality than some $20, $25 big designer brand fragrances out there. It's nothing short of impressive, and if you want something that kind of gets you into that La Nuit de l'Homme Bleu Electrique DNA for an absolute fraction of the price of what that one goes for on eBay now, check out this one right here. Alrighty guys, that's gonna do it for me. 10 fragrances that will get you compliments from complete strangers. If you're wanting mass-pleasing fragrances that have that just kind of unique appeal that will get people intrigued to approach you about it, you're going to want to check these out. I will link these down below to discounters. And again, I will see you over on my community tab where I'm posting deals every day, multiple times a day. You could save a lot of money over there. That's going to do it for me. Thank you so much for watching. Stay safe, stay healthy, and we'll see you tomorrow with another one. Take care.